Kelly winning a face-off, third quarter underway. That's how you know the third quarter started, because Stephen Kelly has the ball on his stick.
What he's really doing now, it seems like he's taking the ball back, because both the wing guys on the other team are so far down on the other side that there's really no pressure on him once he pulls the ball out of there.
Carter Brown and Patrick Kelly exchange on the near side as Jordan Germershausen comes up, sets the pick. Kelly comes out of it, shot, goal. Evidently, Patrick Kelly's nose is okay.
Great job of getting between those two defenders, and then once he was through, good job of finishing the shot.
A little split out of the pick action. Credit Jordan Germershausen with setting a nice pick for him.
He certainly made a tough play look easy.
Yes, and Stephen Kelly once again back at the face-off logo. 7-5 Calvert Hall leads third quarter, brought to you by the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We're going to talk a little bit after the next goal about the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and what they're doing to support CUDA.com and the game of the week. Some tenacious D right there by Jamie Akita. They bumped him up.
Great job by Conestoga staying on the face-off guy and not letting him just relax once he got possession of the ball. He ragged him all the way. Then Stephen seemed to relax a little bit, and the guy threw a great check and knocked the ball out of his stick.
And that's Jamie Akita, number 3, headed to Duke. Played on the Philadelphia Under Armour All-American Underclassmen event, as did goaltender Robbie Zanino.
I think the key for Conestoga is, once again, is just possessions and having some possession time. Because the first quarter, when they weren't able to do that, they fell behind.
Turnover on the clear. Credit Calvert Hall with great riding right there. Just spacing out well, everybody getting on a guy. That's one of the keys in riding, is you have to actually guard a guy. I've had tons of attackmen who just like to go stand in a spot, and it's not the most effective way to ride.
No, they did a great job on that, and what happened is when they both went for the ball, the Calvert Hall guy was there to make a check on the Conestoga player.
We get a flag down on the far side. Stoga went offsides, riding their shot, goal. Great play by Ryan Brown. No mistaking why he's headed to Hopkins. Number 4, Ryan Brown, dipsy-do. And that will wipe out the flag.
And once again, Calvert Hall goes into really fast offense. They don't take a lot of time. They get the ball down the field, and the guy attacked right away before Conestoga could set up their defense.
And you've said that a number of times tonight, is that 6-on-6, Conestoga can match up, but it's those transition opportunities that give Calvert Hall those openings. Calvert Hall, a host of Fellowship of Christian Athletes players, guys like Patrick Kelly, Evan Connell, Garrett Flannery, John Bells, Johnny Kelly, Brian Rosinski, Andrew Fanshaw, Tom Bennett, Cody Rogers. All those guys have participated in this Calvert Hall Fellowship of Christian Athlete connection. And there's Jordan Germershausen getting it from Patrick Kelly. Quick finish. Big play.
Patrick does a great job fighting for that face-off, getting it up, but right away creating offense. Took it right to the hoop, moved the ball, and they do a great job unsettled.
1 minute, 31 seconds in the third quarter. Calvert Hall 9, Conestoga 5.
It's really hard to beat a team when you have a player like Stephen Kelly in that face-off circle, where it's just the possessions just mount on you, and it's hard to play that much defense.
Push against Conestoga as you see them just trying to figure out a way to slow down Stephen Kelly, a guy who can dominate a game. He's in the running right now for the Under Armour All-American Underclassmen Player of the Game. A skywhammy by Carter Brown up top. Patrick Kelly now near side, gets it quickly to Kelton Black. And there, Calvert Hall makes a mistake, but they get the break. The ball doesn't make it to the sideline.
Yeah, almost an unforced error there.
Shot, goal. That's Ryan Brown getting it from Patrick Kelly. They're moving their feet without the ball right now. They're a dangerous team.
Not only are they moving their feet, but they're also looking to the crease for cutters. Last 2 goals have been feeds to the crease where the player caught it, and it's really hard on the goaltender when the guy catches the ball and he's 3 feet from you.
And that is a symptom of Patrick Kelly dodging with his head up the whole time. Third quarter tonight brought to you by FCA Lacrosse, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Lacrosse is committed to developing 3-dimensional athletes and coaches who want to fulfill their God-given potential mentally, physically, and spiritually. For more information on FCA summer teams, camps, or other ways to get involved, check out fcalax.com. Stoga sending Miles Thomas out for the face-off here. Stephen Kelly doing an amazing job all night long. Conestoga in their road maroons, Calvert Hall home whites. And excuse me, that was not Stephen Kelly facing off. Matt Cabernagel coming in to take it. Cabernagel doing a nice job winning the clamp back, but Stoga winning the ground ball.
Well, and I think that's why they put the defenseman on the face-off, so that he could really jump the guy if he happened to lose it. So that was part of their good coaching move.
Brian Sampson doing one of those great coaching jobs, developing talent. And if you want to develop talent, go to CUDA.com and register for a subscription to the CUDA coaching resource. Over 5,000 videos, drills, plans, practices, plays, and demos. CUDA.com, the coach's best friend.
Conestoga is in one of those tough areas right now because you need to score goals, but you also need to possess the ball because you can't just let Calvert Hall keep going down there and wearing out your defense.
And you know you're not going to win the faceoff. Shot backed up by Stoga. Bradley Lord comes around, takes a bit of a hit ball, just makes it to the sideline. And Connor Frasino will set the offense in pace.
A great check by Calvert Hall on that one. The ball ended up going straight sideways because of the check. Once again, Conestoga has to be a little bit patient and make sure they get a good shot. Any shot won't help them. Oh!
Inside feed at the feet of Adam Goins. And there's a flag down on the near side. That's going to be a Jordan Clunder for Conestoga, coming up with a great ground ball and a timely check again.
Yeah, Conestoga is doing a good job finding their cutters and their guys on the crease. They just have to get it and finish it.
Jack Bruss staying high to high on the shot. This quarter brought to you by the great people at Fellowship of Christian Athletes Lacrosse. FCA Lacrosse is committed to developing 3-dimensional athletes and coaches who want to fulfill their God-given potential mentally, physically, and spiritually. For more information on FCA summer teams, camps, and other ways to get involved, check out fcalax.com. Booker Corrigan and Brian Corrigan bringing you the Royal Farms Game of the Week. Royal Farms is somewhere near you. Get to a Royal Farms for everything you need.
That is good fried chicken.
Yes, it is.
This is a huge opportunity for Conestoga to start climbing back into the game.
Bradley Lord behind the cage. Stoga on the man up for a full minute. And they still have 30 seconds on the foul, so they don't need to get impatient. Evan Connell knocking a man to the ground.
Conestoga tried a fake pass, then shot on that one. That was good on the drawing board, but a tough one to pull off in a game like this.
Jake Scott with a great ground ball on the end line. Now there's a diagonal pass shot, and Evan Connell runs it out. Great play by Evan Connell.
And there's an example of just what you were talking about earlier. Evan saw the guy shooting, turned and ran before Conestoga could even get started, and he gets possession of the ball for his team.
The penalty is just now rolled off, and Calvert Hall kills off the foul. Brust makes the nice clear. Jerry Greeny getting some time for Calvert Hall, and I think Calvert Hall this season is going to see a lot of teams that get real amped up to play them and stay with them for a half or 3 quarters, and then their depth is just going to help them pull away in a lot of instances.
Yeah, I mean, they have talent across the board. It's really hard to decide who you're going to try to stop on their team because they're just kind of next man up at this point.
Great takeaway check by Miles Thomas. Jamie Akita with it on the far side. Akita gets it up to McGregor. McGregor, left-hand shot, deflected away.
Conestoga had an opportunity there. Unfortunately, one of their attackmen kind of stayed behind the goal. You've got to come up and make sure that you have the numbers in front of the goal in a fast break situation.
Timeout called by Coach Kelly, a veteran timeout right there with 6:25 to go third quarter. His defense is a little bit scrambling in a sense. They've been up and down the field a couple times. Great opportunity to set your defense back in place. That's why Coach Kelly has the top team in the country in his hands right now. Bradley Lord will set it in motion for Stoga. Again, Coach Kelly using a timeout right there. Great timeout call. 6:20 to go, third quarter. Calvert Hall ahead 10-5 now. They've broken it open on a 5-goal run. Bradley Lord feed goes inside, trying to connect with Tyler Brook.
Once again, Conestoga made a nice play, had a good opportunity, and they just missed a wide open pass.
And some of that is it's the first game of the year for Conestoga, and some of it is that Calvert Hall defense never really lets you get too comfortable.
Absolutely. But it's those plays that can, once again, the limited possessions they have, when they have those opportunities, they've really got to cash in on them.
Patrick Kelly near side. Gets it up to Deal. And now it's Andrew Fanshaw. His older brother Patrick Fanshaw at Loyola University. And Stoga swarms on him. That's going to be a 30-second foul. Referee Carmen D. John Domenico's not going to let this game get a little bit out of control.
Great job by Conestoga, upping the defensive pressure, realizing that they've got to start creating some situations. Unfortunately, there was a push on a Calvert Hall player.
Conestoga coach Brian Sampson realizing he has to defensively maintain that intensity that got them to 5-5 at halftime, or 6-5 at halftime. Low to high by Jordan Germerhausen.
Calvert Hall really shoots like a college team. They're shooting for the corners, and sometimes their backups are so good that if they happen to miss a corner, it's just a possession anyway. So it's really they're really a talented offensive team.
Great play by Bradley Lord, tiptoeing the midfield line. Bradley Lord's played a great game tonight. I'm thrilled with the way he plays.
Absolutely. Conestoga is once again trying to, put some pressure on the offensive end and get a goal.
Shot and goal. Feed by Jordan Klunder. Goal by Tyler Brook. They connect to stop the run of Calvert Hall. Now it's 10-6. Stoga doing a nice job.
A good job of attacking Calvert Hall in an unsettled situation, not letting them get back and get settled. I think Conestoga's going to have to do a little more of that, because that seems to be where their success has been so far. Unfortunately, Mr. Kelly is at the face-off end.
Yes. Stephen Bones Kelly back at the face-off logo. Referee Richard Montgomery McGee setting the face-off guys into the right spots. And Bones wins the clamp ball, pinballs around on the near side, and Stoga comes up with a Jamie Akita, the long stickman. Stoga trying to run that fast break, but Calvert Hall doing a great job holding their positions. Stoga gets the backup.
Good job by Stoga backing that one up, but once again, putting the pressure offensively immediately onto Calvert Hall.
Adam Goins near side as Jordan Klunder just coming out of the box. And again, credit backup goaltender, injured backup goaltender Brody Shea with doing a nice job keeping that sideline tight for that Stoga Pioneer squad.
Looks like early season, Conestoga's been having a little trouble handling the balls on the inside, where there are some opportunities for them. But I think that's something that'll just work itself out as the year progresses.
Well, that's also a proponent of kids playing with a bag in their stick. And yes, I still coach club. I see it all happen. Garrett Epple running for the end line there. The Stoga guy may have been out of bounds.
Good effort by Calvert Hall trying to
Garrett
get possession
Epple,
of that
yep,
ball.
turning and running for the end line when he sees the shot go. Goins, another hard bouncer. Adam Goins loves that high, hard bouncer.
Once again, he should have been a little more patient on that because he actually had space and he had more room. It looks like he could have gone in a little closer and gotten an even better shot.
I had a little chit-chat with Adam Goins before the game. One thing I can say is he's tight. He's tight like a tiger. Bradley Lord driving near side. Evan Connell and Garrett Epple. Twosome on defense for Calvert Hall. Guys who really play the game well. Wouldn't be surprised to see them be the Under Armour All-American Underclassmen Player of the Game one game.
Conestoga's generating a lot of shots, but a lot of them are not great shots. So I think they need to be a little more patient and try to get to that next step or make that next pass that'll give them a better opportunity to actually score a goal.
And you say get that next step, you've got to be willing to pay a price to make a play against this Calvert Hall team.
That was a much better example right there. The guy did a nice little cut, caught it, and shot it right away. That was a nice offense.
Connor Frasina setting it up for McGregor. McGregor all the way up to Clunder. Clunder and Tyler Brook exchange on the far side, and this is McGregor going against Johnny Kelly. McGregor generates the slide. Stoga's got to move this ball quickly. And Garrett Epple and Evan Connell. You're not going to make a lot of hay dodging against those two guys.
No, it's a great slide. And then they get the ball and they push it right away, right at the offensive end, and they're going to try to get a fast shot.
Calvert Hall, you notice they move the ball. Every guy cradles it once and moves it back up. Unable to corral the loose ball, and Stoga comes away with it. Jamie Akita.
Really nice offensive series there and had a very good shot. So you can't really be upset if you're Brian Kelly at that point.
Yeah, it got a little awkward on the backup, and next thing you know, Stoga comes up with possession. This Stoga team, they're number 3 in the country for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, we can't overlook the fact that this is Calvert Hall's 4th game, and this is Conestoga's 1st game of, games that actually count. So it's, you got to really work some bugs out when you're in your first game. And to take on the number 1 team in the country then is
and we are in the
tough
final
task.
minute. Shot goal. Bradley Lord comes out, finishes it, gets the feed from Tyler Brook. And the 2 Maryland-bound attackmen for Conestoga cut it to 10-7. Conestoga will not go softly into the night. 47.5 seconds to go, third quarter. Third quarter brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes Lacrosse. FCA Lacrosse is committed to developing 3-dimensional athletes and coaches who want to fulfill their God-given potential mentally, physically, and spiritually. For more information on FCA summer teams, camps, or other ways to get involved, check out FCALax.com.
Great job of spacing on that last goal by Conestoga. And now it looks like they're tying it up a little more so that they can at least get back defensively on these face-offs.
And that was Cabernagle taking the face-off for Calvert Hall. 30 seconds left in the quarter, which is more than enough time for Calvert Hall to generate an opportunity. Patrick Kelly driving left-handed ball, pops out of his stick, and Zanino gets it quickly. Looking to get it up to Bradley Lord. That is going to be it for the third quarter. Royal Farms bringing you the game of the week. Make Royal Farms your first stop before and after every game for everything from custom-built subs and wraps, healthy snacks, drinks, fresh brewed coffee, Western fries, and of course, Royal Farms' delicious, world-famous, fresh, never frozen chicken. Royal Farms, real fresh, real fast.